meters, and it's held every Saturday evening at 8 p.m. CQ. This is a misdirected net, and all transmissions will go over, under, around, and through net control. This also a rag-chew net, but anyone who wishes to have one go around or check in and out are welcome to do so, especially when the Packers are playing in the playoffs. Anyone timing out the repeater will win the coveted Golden Yo-Yo Award for not to talk too long on one transmission. I am this week's net control John, so anyone who wishes to check into the 2-meter yo-yo net, please call KB9DXJ.
KB9FQC. KB9DXJ. Whiskey 9 Juliet Echo. KB9DXJ. Kilo Charlie 9. Zulu Sierra Romeo present. United Kingdom.
Okay, stand by, please. I have K9FQC, W9JE, and KC9ZSR. Any corrections or additional stations? Hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and get started. K9FQC. Good evening, Ed. Go ahead, please. K9FQC, are you still with me? Well, evidently not right at the moment. I'll get back to him. I don't know if he spoke something on the radio or what happened, but with that, I'll move on to another Ed, W9JE. Good evening. Go ahead, please.
Well, good evening, John, and everybody else. Not doing too much here. I am listening to 40 meters, and I heard some stations coming in calling CQ on the frequency I happen to be listening to, and I went to go see if I could raise them because they were strong signals, and doggone it, I don't know if my station is transmitting or not because I don't see anything moving on my meter on the TS2000. So that is what I am going to be doing for the most part here. As soon as I get done transmitting here, I'm going to go back and see if I can find out what's going on. I know there are a couple of different settings with the meter, and I might have one of those that's not set right, so I could be transmitting and I just don't know it. Anyway, not going to be doing too much of anything else for the rest of the weekend, and if we can make it through tomorrow night, we're going to get warm again, thank goodness. Well, not warm, but warm for this time of year anyway. And then I can start paying attention to stuff I need to get done. Anyway, I'm just going to be in here for the one go because I want to make sure that I can start trying to contact some of these stations that I can hear. So I'll turn things down. Oops, back over to you, John. KB9VXJ and the net, W9JE, and just one go.
Okay, Ed. Well, it's got your mark for one go. Tell me, are you using what you've had for HF for an antenna?
Yep, I'm using the two 102-inch whips in dipole configuration.
And you're tuned up on 40 meters, and if you're on 40 meters, you're on lower sideband.
That is correct.
Okay, well, then I would also make sure you got a good microphone connection. You know, try it on 10 meters or something where you know that antenna would be resonant. Make sure your mic is working, because on sideband it's only going to show power out while speaking. So maybe think about that. You know, and if you have a power meter on that 2200, you would show something. If there's no audio going through, you're not going to show any power out. Roger?
Oh yeah, I know all about that, and in fact I put a little audio into the radio and was throwing my call out and didn't see anything moving around.
Okay, well, then must have something configured wrong. Be my best estimation at this time. Putting audio into it and putting your call out but not showing anything. Not sure quite how you did that, but if it's not showing any power out, maybe the audio is not getting to the radio. Any rate, got your mark for one go. And with that, I'll move on to Fred, KC9ZSR. Good evening, Fred. Go ahead, please.
KB9VXJ and the Yo-Yo Net, KC9ZSR. You know, I always worry about that, too. Am I actually transmitting? And I really like it when I'm trying something new and then I make a contact, and then I know for sure that, yep, it's working. But anyway, I've been watching the game tonight, and Packers aren't embarrassing themselves very much at all. And I think this is kind of an interesting game. And but I'm going to probably continue to pay attention to it and see what happens. There's a lot more time to play, and we'll just see how it works out. Anyway, I'll be around for a second go. I might be the only one. But anyway, back to you, John. KB9VXJ and the Yo-Yo Net, KC9ZSR.
Okay, Fred. Just a little reminder here. You can look at your meter, see if you're transmitting. On FM, when you key up, it's going to show that. And if you're coming through a repeater, if you want to know if your radio is working, like this repeater, there is a squelch tail. When you unkey, if you're watching your meter, you will see a little bit on the receive before it drops. Then you know the repeater is hearing you, even if it's not at a point in time where you're AB9PJ. And, it's a good thing to check from time to time. I tend to be a meter watcher. Why isn't this working? Well, then I can start investigating what I've done wrong. I'll catch you on the second go. It might be soon, we'll find out. But before I pause for check-ins, I'm going to back up here. K9 FQC. Ed, I missed you on the first go. Are you with us now? Go ahead if you're there. Well, I'm not hearing Ed over at High Falls. I don't know if he... There's a little problem with vision. If he bumped the VFO memory button and kind of lost us there. But at any rate, since I'm at the bottom of the list, I will take a pause. Are there any further check-ins for the Yo-Yo Net? If so, please call KB9VXJ. Hearing none? Well, Fred, I'll go back to you. I figured this was going to be a short net. I'm actually kind of surprised they had 3 check-ins, even though I lost K9 FQC. With sporting events going on. So, KC9ZSR, go ahead.
KB9VXJ, KC9ZSR. Well, I am watching the game, kind of, sort of. But, you know, I always worry about really get beat up badly. It's really an embarrassment. And like the Cowboys, I think they were very embarrassed that we just somehow couldn't win it. But anyway, I'm not a real football expert or anything like that. I do like to watch a few games, and I usually do something else while I'm watching the game because there's an awful lot of downtime when nothing's happening. But anyway, I'm glad you did your net, and well, you got 3 contacts anyway, so that's probably pretty good because there's a lot of hope around here that the Packers are going to make it. But we'll have to see. There's still a whole lot of football to play, and they might surprise everybody. Anyway, back to you, John. KB9VXJ and the Yo-Yo Net. KC9 ZSR 7-3 Saul.
Okay, Fred. Well, I tell you what, I've been following football. It's one way or another, and some other sports. Boy, since I was about 8 years old. So if the team is any team has been around long enough, you're going to get embarrassed once in a while, and you're going to embarrass somebody else. That's just the way it seems to work out. I'll tell you that. And well, I'm here hanging on. Persistent and stubborn, if not too bright sometimes. But, well, this net's been my love for almost a quarter of a century, so I do it one way or another when at all possible. And as far as the weather goes, well, looks like it's going to warm up. It's going to be a cold night tonight, so I'm going to have a thrill because being up here in Silver Cliff, let's see, this time of year, your garbage gets picked up every 2 weeks. I have to take it out to Highway C, which isn't a big deal because, all right, I can put the bag out in this week's bag out in the garage, and it's not going to matter. You know, it's nice and cold, so it doesn't get too awful. And recycling is every other week, and I've got kind of a bunch, so I have to go deliver that. So I'm going to be driving over there. It's about, say about 6 miles. So a little ride tomorrow. A little thrill, but such it is when you live in a more remote area than in town. All right, I am at the bottom of the list here. If Ed is back on, or if anyone else would like to have a wait time check-in or a further comment, now would be a good time. Call KB9BXJ.
Yeah, Whiskey 9 Juliet Echo for another comment real quick like.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just so that you know, I did go check the microphone, and evidently there is something in the cord that's not cooperating, because I moved the cord around a little bit in my hand, trying to get something coming from it, and I finally did see something. So it looks like I'm going to either have to get a new microphone for this TS2000 or find something that might work. Anyway, that's all I had. KB9VXJ, W9JE will be clear.
Okay, Ed. Well, if you're using the hand mic for that radio, I'm not specifically familiar with it, but I would think the microphone may well be okay. I would go with the cord first. If you're wiggling the cord and you're having that, because I changed the mic cord on the radio I'm cross-banding through, just because it wasn't having problems, but it should have when I looked at it and put it in line. And that's usually the case. Maybe unplug the connector. You got a little electronic cleaner, try that and plug it back in. Might help, probably not, but it's worth a thought. Anyway, sounds good, Ed. At least you found out where the problem is. You'll have better luck with equipment works. At least that's what I found out, usually the hard way. Any other comments or perhaps a late time check-in? Hearing none. Very lost. Ed, K9FUC. Fishing's quite cool. Maybe tell me about ice conditions or something on High Falls. But I'd like to thank everybody for checking in. The few, the proud, and, I fall into a different category. With that, I'll turn the repeater back to regular amateur radio abuse. Wish everybody a good evening. And with that, this is KB9VXJ. Good evening. Again.